All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Adams Brothers Podcast. It's a pop-up podcast, so come on in the room, tap in, and let's chop it up. If you'd like to get in on the dialogue, when we tell you to, the number to call in will be 754-227-1986, 754-227-1986, and that is when we tell you to call in, okay? So when we open up the phone lines, the first person to call in, you're welcome to call in when we open up the phone line. And when you see someone talking, please don't call in. We only have one phone line. So when you see that person hang up, then you can call in, okay? So it's pretty straightforward, right? And I know you got it. So when we don't open up the phone lines, you're welcome to call in when we open up the phone lines, okay? So, happy hump day to each and every last one of you out there in Facebook and YouTube land. We are live streaming live to Facebook and YouTube simultaneously right now. So you can go to YouTube or you can go over to Facebook and watch us live and in color. Two bald head, handsome black men right here behind the microphone. So, welcome to the Adams Brothers Podcast, the hottest podcast in the Tri-County area here of Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County in South Florida. Everybody's tuning in to the Adams Brothers Podcast, and we really appreciate all the love and support that you all give us. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you for following us. Thank you for chiming in. Thank you for sending us messages and keeping us informed. Thank you for the inboxes. Thank you for the text messages. Thank you for everything, man. We really appreciate all the love and support that we get from Deerfield Beach, Pompano, Broward County, Dade County, Palm Beach, man. We get love from all over the place. So thank you all very much. We really appreciate the love. So let me lower this intro music here a little bit so it's not too loud. So we're back. I think we were here. Were we here last week?
We weren't here last week.
Okay. We weren't here last week.
But we're here this week.
But we're back. And we're going to pick up right where we left off.
Yeah, we had a very interesting broadcast the last time, talking about public safety.
Yeah.
So
they didn't really talk about it too much last night. They spent a whole lot of time on the beach, the feet to get on the pier.
Yes.
And the want the residents should pay and the non-residents should pay.
Veterans, police, first responders.
Right.
Yes.
So they spent a lot of time on that last night, and they didn't really touch on what they had voted on the previous commission meeting, which was they voted on to go back to their own municipal police and fire department. And it was a 4-1 vote. District 1 Commissioner Hudak voted yes. District 2 Vice Mayor Ben Preston voted no. District 3 Daniel Shinesky, after fighting him for so long, he went ahead and voted yes to move forward. District 4 Tom Plout, he also voted yes, and the mayor Todd Drosky voted yes, with only Vice Mayor Ben Preston voting no. So they have already started the process of bringing back our own municipal police and fire department back to Deerfield Beach, and a lot of people are very, very upset because they don't think that the numbers are factual, and it was a rushed
the judgment.
The judgment. It was a rushed. It wasn't a comprehensive report like Pompano. Pompano paid about $280,000 for their comprehensive report on public safety, and the sheriff also offered to pay for that same comprehensive study. He offered to pay. and he gave the city a choice of what they would like to, whatever company that they would like to use to do that comprehensive study that they would pay for. So they didn't take him up on the offer. They didn't take him up on that offer to pay for it. They didn't take him up on that offer for the 2-year contract. So here we are right now with a whole lot of upset taxpayers because they are afraid that their tax bills are about to go through the roof.
And they also felt from my watching and viewing that they felt that their voice wasn't heard. That's what I took from watching the meeting last night and the previous meetings. They just felt like that the mayor, the Commissioner Plant and Commissioner Hudak, they felt like they should have waited till the Pompano Beach study came out, which the Pompano Beach study is going to be released, I believe, either on February 22nd or February 24th. It's one of those dates. They're going to release their comprehensive report, which took almost a year. It took, if I'm right, over 6 months. So that is what everyone was waiting on. I mean, I was told months ago that Deerfield was going to wait on Pompano's study. But I mean, everyone is flabbergasted at why they rushed. But I mean, everyone too at the meeting last night was focusing on the prepared statements that Commissioner Hudak, Commissioner Plott had already prepared. Some people are saying that they already had their mind already made up. And I mean, when you make a prepared statement like that, I mean, you might as well just had came and took the vote, because I don't think you were listening to the public. That's just me. That's just my take on it. I don't think I'm wrong on that. I believe that a little bit more thought should have been put into this. I think the people just want transparency. The people want to see some hardcore numbers, and I know that's at the time right now they can't do it. But the mayor promised transparency throughout this whole process, and I hope so. I know the Sun Sentinel also said in one of their op-eds that they would hope that the city would be very transparent in this process. I think that's what everyone wants, transparency, because a lot of times in these cities, they try to hide things. And I don't know why. I mean, the people have a right to know. And just watching the meeting the other night, I said on our last broadcast that it's time to move on. I mean, even Commissioner Preston, in his statement at the commission comments, he said it was time to move on. And those folks not going to change their mind. I mean, I believe in a lot what he said, that, we can't let this divide our city. Most of those people that's there on that commission, and no knock against them, they don't know the history of this city. They don't know too much about this city. They just came and they make a decision. And I always believe that you listen to the people that, especially that have been here for a while, you listen to them. I'm not saying you have to go entirely with what they say, but people that's been here a long time should, their thought process should have some merit. But again, it's time to move on. It's time to go to the next level now. We need to focus on recruiting. We need to focus on, if we're going to have the Deerfield Beach Police Department or whatever they're going to call it, we need to try to make sure that it's the best department out there. Like I say, Commissioner Preston, he touched on a lot of things. He touched on, trying to go back and just think about his statement. Like he said, the city, you don't want to divide this city. And apparently it definitely has been divided over this issue. I never took it. I love this city, but I never really took it personal. And I would hope that, and I I'm quite sure our commentary and some of the people that called in, I'm quite sure that the commissioners probably took it personal. I hope that they would not take it personal, and I would hope that at some point that they would come on here. They've been on here before. They know it's not personal. It's never personal with the Adams Brothers podcast. We never came on here and just tried to attack no one at the city or whoever. But it's time to move on.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. I think we need to focus on recruiting. I think we need to focus on this department reflecting exactly what this city looks like.
Diversity. Diversity in this city. We need people that reflect the community. We need Haitian police officers. We need Jamaican police officers, white, black, Latino. We need everything here. We don't want just this good old boy system to come in here and, the old Deerfield Beach Police Department. And please, commissioners and mayor, if you're out there watching, don't go back to that old ugly brown uniform that we had years ago, because that brings back a lot of bad memories from when we were treated poorly by the old Deerfield Beach Police Department. So we're going to be fighting hard to hopefully they don't do that, and speak to the city manager and the mayor and our elected officials to those ugly brown uniforms. They were attached to a level of racism back in the day, and we grew up here.
And oppression.
Yes, and oppression, and we grew up here. So if you haven't been here for almost 60 years here like us, and were born and raised here, and then I don't think maybe you probably heard the rumors, but we know firsthand by having guns stuck up to our head and call us the N-word and, making us, walk up to the red light, traffic light to cross the road. And we told the story. You all know. We've all told the stories.
Yeah.
Here. Go back and watch our podcast. You'll see. But it's what's done has been done. They voted on it. It's clear they're going to move forward with their own police department. We just hope that we don't get taxed out of our homes.
Yeah,
that's what the big scare is about. See some people leaving some
Travis Higgs. Yeah,
we said, are they going to bring back the throwback colors, orange, brown, and white cars? We hope
not.
Real Deerfield. Hope not. We used to throw rocks from the field.
Yeah.
Well, we don't need no throwing rocks and all of that stuff, but those old brown uniforms that they had, the brown shirt with the light brown pants with the stripe going down the side. Yeah. Please, Mayor.
Go to something else.
Go to blue. Go to
something.
blue. Go to blue or green or something. Don't go back to that old Deerfield brown. And I can understand that a deer is brown and they were looking at the uniform as brown and all of that, but get away from that. I like to see that navy blue. I think that always color. Looks good.
Navy blue.
Yeah. Like Boca Raton and Coconut Creek and Fort Lauderdale, Sunrise, and all those police departments like that. So I think the navy blue looks good. We're a ways away from that, but that's what's been on our mind. And I know a lot of people. The last time we were here on the podcast, a lot of people were calling in. Commissioner Shinesky, he called in. He called in the last time. Former Mayor Peggy Nolan, Mayor and Commissioner. District 1, Peggy Nolan called in, and we had a lot of concerned residents called in because they don't think that they're being given all the facts, and there's not true transparency here. So we want transparency. We want to see true numbers, factual numbers, And we don't want the city to come back and say, oh, and I could just see it now. They're going to come back and say, oh, we didn't foresee, we didn't
Commissioner
anticipate
Preston said that
this
last night.
happening. Yeah. We got a shortfall and this was unexpected. And, but still at the end of the day, we have to pay for it.
Yeah.
So be advised that that's going to happen. Okay. They're not going to tell you everything. And because they know deep down in their hearts that it's going to be some costs that
unforeseen
pop up that they didn't anticipate.
Yep.
And we're going to end up paying for it. So,
and that's I mean,
yeah.
I don't see no other way where our taxes don't go up. I don't see no other way.
Yeah.
And I don't care I understood what Commissioner Preston said last night. Don't demonize someone because the commissioners, when some unforeseen cost, and I'm just paraphrasing what he said, but it's going to be unforeseen cost. It can't be no other way. I mean, because you really did not do a comprehensive study. What everyone was saying they should have done was waited till Pompano released their report in February. And again, that was the plan from what we were told from people. That was the plan, that we were going to piggyback off of Pompano in a way, and see what their numbers look like. I don't know. Well, I know, just like I told y'all last week, they knew they had to rush this thing through, because they know that I'm running, and they know that former Commissioner Joe Miller is running, and he stated his position. I stated my position. Okay, we have a
caller coming in. I believe this is Commissioner Shinesky.
I believe it is too. This is Commissioner Shinesky.
Hey. All right, hang on here a second. Let me hear this music here. I should have turned it off.
Hold on one moment, Commissioner.
I believe that was Commissioner Shinesky. Let me make sure we're connected here. Before you call in here again, hang on here. I'll call him back. Just hang on there, Commissioner. I'm going to call you back. Let me make sure that our line is connected here, because I made sure that it was on before. Yeah, so we are paired up here. So let me call that number back here.
Yeah, I didn't actually hear it, so I don't know if you were connected, because I didn't hear the phone ring through my headphones.
Yeah, it's. Let's see here. Just give us a second here before let us do something here. Let me make sure it's.
But yes, I'm quite sure it's going to be some unforeseen cost, and I just hope it doesn't really affect the taxpayers here, because I'm looking out for the people. It's a lot of people here just living off of Social Security. Okay, and with these huge increases, they're asking for that. Then they're also asking you to a bond. I mean, are we going to be able to afford all of that? I'm not sure. I'm not sure that we're going to be able to afford all that. Everyone just hang on for a moment, because we don't have producers and all that. So our studio here, we're trying to do everything.
We're doing everything here.
We're doing everything. So. We're looking at our screen, we have a huge screen. We're looking at that, and then we're trying to do all the other technical things with our laptops here and our other equipment that we have. So we're trying to connect right now to our phone line so we can we had Commissioner Shinesky. Just hold on one moment, Commissioner. We're gonna try to get you right back on here in a moment. Just bear with us for a moment. But yeah, people don't want those tax increases. I mean, and I believe, this is me. This is just me, my opinion. The price they're complaining about right now, give it a few years with the Deerfield Beach Police, we're going to be right back there because labor costs. And as Howard Nolan spoke last night, I believe
From
he
Daniel
said,
Shanetzi. To accept, press 1.
Okay,
To
here we
send a
go.
voicemail, press 2.
All right, we
All
think
right.
you have you right now. Good afternoon, District
good
4
evening,
Commissioner
Shanesky.
Daniel Shanesky. Good afternoon,
Good
sir.
afternoon, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Thank you, and thank you for listening. Now, what would you like to talk about there, Commissioner?
Whatever you want to talk about, I'm happy to.
Yeah,
Okay.
your thoughts last night on I mean, it was a variety of things. I mean, I wish that all the commissioners would at least give us updates like you do. But give us a thought on what the mayor and I know you can't speak for them, but give us your thoughts on what Commissioner Preston said about it's time for the city to move on now, and with our own department, and the vote has been taken, and to get past that vote and try to move on and let's not divide the city, and let's move on with our own police department. Just want your thoughts on that.
Well, I mean, I really can't talk for what Commissioner Preston, is saying. I know for myself, and I stress it very, very much. It's very, very important for us to have all the information and the numbers. I mean, because the questions I have, and I'm privy to all the documents, and in looking through all the documents, even from that 12-page study, I don't see any plan on how we're going to pay for these things. And there's a lot of things to pay for. Yes, we own the fire stations, and that's it. And we own the bare walls.
Mm-hmm.
We don't own the equipment, and that's what makes a fire station. I mean, we have a trailer, but we have equipment in there. The equipment belongs to BSO. And the life-saving equipment. That's the important things. We have to pay for that.
Right.
I want to know how are we going to pay for that.
Right.
And I stress that, and I'll stress that going forward. I mean, any decisions going forward where the city is going to spend on other things that are affiliated, I'm going to say I want to see numbers. I want to see a plan. Are we going to take loans? Are we going to do a bond? Are we going to borrow? I mean, I stressed that I wanted the CFO to discuss it, to give us a plan. And I said the citizens deserve that. So the mayor promised, and you heard him, he promised that every single agenda, there'll be some sort of financial plan. That's what he said. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to hold him to that.
Right.
And the CFO being the chief financial officer who you're talking about, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, the chief financial. Yeah, because we were told that the chief financial officer and the director of public safety has the numbers. They have it. It's all planned out. They know, they have a plan. They know exactly. Well, let the citizens know about it. I mean, this is the citizens' money. This is the citizens' public safety.
Right.
So I fought for that, and I'll keep fighting for that. That's the most important thing, how we're going to pay for it. I want to make sure that not only do we have the best coverage, but this is affordable. I mean, the study, now it's raised to $950 million. Remember, it was $500 million, so now suddenly additional $450 million. Wow, that's pretty good. We're almost at $1 billion we're going to save. How? I mean, how are we going to do this? I want a plan, and I stress that. And I also, former Commissioner Parnes, has always been saying, well, 16 cities have it, and it's, everything's fine. Yeah, but they've never contracted it out. Public safety, both fire and police. And I brought up that Fort Lauderdale has had their own police department in place since 1911. Mm-hmm. Hollywood, I think, since 1925. So they already have everything established, their budget, their equipment, their infrastructure. We're starting from scratch. Big difference. And I stressed that. And I said that the only two cities that I saw out of those 31 or 16, that switched from BSO to their own, just like us, is Pembroke Park, we has a population of 6,000 people. Century Village has almost between 10 and 15,000.
Right.
And then the other city is Southwest Ranch, which has 8,000. Deerfield Beach has almost 88,000 people. Big difference.
Don't forget
So I
about
stress
Lauderhill.
that. It's Lauderhill, yeah. I mean, but it was a long time ago. I mean, they've switched, I think, since 1995. That's 32 years ago.
Right.
Right. That's 32 years ago. That's a whole lifetime.
Yeah, it is.
And the population. So that's a lifetime. That's a generation.
Right.
So what we're doing is very different. And what worries me is we're going to be having major construction on Southwest 10th in my area starting later next year. And we need the best first responders, the best police and fire. So I want to know, where are we going to get the money? We have $32 million in reserves. I also brought up about assessment fees. I know people are saying, well, will you raise the millage rate? And the city manager and the mayor said, no, we're not going to raise the millage rate.
I don't see how.
But assessment fees, we raised it from 311 to 360. All those other cities, and I've done research, they're double the assessment fees. Like Fort Lauderdale is like $700. That directly comes out of our pocket. Citizens of Deerfield Beach have to pay those fire assessment fees.
Well, you're going to have
So
a
I brought
public
that up.
safety assessment fee. That's coming. You already know that.
Right.
It's
know.
always these assessments. When the city can't find money, the first thing they do, they jump to those assessments. I remember when that fire assessment fee was like $44 or $49. Look at it now. Look where it's at now.
300 and
The
something
good old
dollars.
days,
now.
huh?
Yeah.
Good old- I know, and it's going to go up.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the compared to, but former Commissioner Parnas doesn't bring that up. He sort of conveniently, doesn't bring that up. So, I was very vigilant yesterday. I said, how are we going to pay for this? And I want some sort of discussion on that
Right.
people know how we're going to pay for this. Where is the money coming from? It shouldn't be a secret. And you see that the mayor jumped in and said, don't worry, we'll have that information. There's also been a statement that we could jump on with Pompano Beach's fire rescue. Well, their study's coming out February 24th of whether they're going to stay with BSO police or go their own way. We don't know if we could jump on their fire rescue. So, I mean, there's so many things up in the air.
Yeah.
And again, I'm always going to be pressing for clarity.
Right.
I mean, we need to know. The people need to know.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person, I like to know what's going on before it happens, and what's going to happen, how will this affect me?
Right.
And I think the citizens have a right to know that. So
Right.
that's the answer to my question.
Commissioner Shinesky, Darrell Adams here. We were just talking about the equipment, and for me, I'm just trying to. I don't understand how we could pay for. We could give the sheriff's office this $30-something for the police and the fire, or the $30-something million for police or whatever the number is, and then we don't own the equipment. I mean, we have to. They just take all of the equipment. They could sell the cars, and we don't get any of the money back. Like if they auction off the car, I don't think we get any of that money back to our budgets into our coffers. I don't. Could you explain that? I mean, how that works? Because I'm a little bit confused as to why we don't own the equipment. We're the one that's paying for it. That's the only thing I'm a little bit confused about.
I guess when we made the contract with BSO, for a fire department in 2011, I guess that was one of the stipulations. We own the engines. Yeah, we own the fire engines, but you take everything off of that.
Right.
And that's the most important thing.
Right.
And I mean, even the specialized equipment that the first responders and the fire people have, that's what makes them fire people. I mean, it was funny. I was in Century Village today. There's a building called Cookville, and it's the condo owners of Century Village East. They have their own small little building. And I gave an analogy to somebody. I said, you have this building. If you took the inside of everything off of this building, the desks, the computers, the pictures, everything, and you just had the bare that, yeah, we own the bear, but what can you do with it?
Yeah.
So, the equipment is very important, and we have to pay for that.
Mhm.
And the thing is, like first responder, fire, they're always updating. And it's not only the equipment, but the training. I had an in-depth conversation with our firefighters, and they said there's mandatory certification all the time. There's mandatory training,
Mm-hmm.
and they usually take like 5 people off. It's very in-depth.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very serious. So how are we going to pay for this?
I don't know. That's
I
the
mean,
big
especially with the
question.
challenges. And I push for it, and I'm going to be very vigilant on that. Every single time if they move forward on something that I don't feel that they're addressing the cost, I'm going to give that question. How are we going to pay for this? Where is it coming from? I need to know, and the citizens need to know.
Well,
Why was the rush? That's what I want to know. Why was it's like it was so crucial to pass this all of a sudden right now instead of waiting on the Pompano Beach report to come out on February 24th? Why we had to go right now? Why we couldn't just do the study? I think, again, if they would have just took the sheriff up, took whoever they wanted, and did the comprehensive study, I believe, you wouldn't have had everyone wouldn't have agreed. They probably would have said something, but I believe it would have been more creditable and it would have been more accepted. I'm not going to even say credible, but it would have been more accepted if they would have just waited and did the comprehensive study. Right. That's just my belief.
Well, you see how hard I fought for that 2-year extension and the offer of the cop. I fought very hard. I mean, when Ben Preston made that motion, I immediately jumped on and seconded, and I voted for it. I think that was very important. I was listening to what the people were asking, and it seemed fair, and I fought very hard for it.
You did.
So
you could still, they could do what the commissioners could still change their mind. It's not too late. They did vote to bring back their own municipal police and fire, but they could change their mind. They could go back and say, yeah, I know they won't,
Too
but
much pride.
I mean, why not just do one and one at a time? Bring that back the police and then do the fire. Bring back fire and then do police, but we can't afford to do both. That's what they're worried about.
That's why yesterday when I spoke, I highlighted, the fire and first responders. I said, hey, they need certification. They need specialized equipment. Their IT system for first responders or fire is very, very up to date, much different than even police, and these are people's lives that are affecting first responders and fire. Of course, police also, but first, when there's an emergency, especially in my elderly communities that I represent, these first responders are life and death. Yeah. So they have to. In fact, last Monday, we had a CPR class that was sponsored by BSO Fire Department, and extremely impressed, very impressed of how important it is that they have the best updated knowledge of what to do. Right. And I took a tour of Fire Station 66. So they showed me the equipment, they showed me everything, right. And it really stressed how important it is. Yeah, the building's there. The building's there. What can I say? But the equipment, and unfortunately, we don't own that, so we have to buy it. We have to get it, and I want the best.
Right.
So
I want to ask you a question too, Commissioner Chaneski, Wayne Adams. How do you feel about this vote that was just taken, that the citizens of Deerfield Beach should have made that decision, not 5
elected officials?
I'm just saying, before you answer, I believe that the people should have made that decision on a referendum this November. I believe it should have been on the ballot and let the people of Deerfield Beach make that decision, since we're the one that's gonna have to pay for it. Right. But I'm asking you, how would you have felt?
I'll tell you, and it's funny you bring that up. And I've spoken to people in the city about it. That was my goal. That's why I fought so hard for that 2-year extension. That was my goal. If we would have gotten that approval on that to go with a 2-year extension, I immediately, and I've spoken to city staff of how can we do a referendum. I was told, in March, because we have March elections too, municipal. Technically, we could have did it in March. Not enough time to put it together, and costs. November, that would have been tight. The problem with that is, and I had asked about it, is if we would have done the referendum in November, and just say the citizens of Deerfield Beach, because you need a certain percentage. If they would have shot it down, then now remember the clock is ticking. And believe me, I pushed not to start the transition on October 1. Give us more time.
Right.
Let's at least run out the contract, the original contract, to March 31st of 26. I fought for that.
Mm-hmm.
So if we would have had the quote referendum in November of 26, and by chance it would have lost, then that would have given us less than a year to quote get everything together, so it would have less time. I mean, that was my original intent. If we would have gotten that 2-year breathing space, which is what I was pressing for, I definitely would have went for that referendum. And I've spoken to people about that, and they've spoken to me. So I had that idea. But once that motion lost, it just wasn't going to happen.
Right.
I would have loved to, and I think that's the best way. I really do. But once that avenue was closed, I mean, I think that would have been the best way.
Right.
But it's funny you bring that up.
I think it would have been defeated.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Shinesky, I have a question. Has the city manager, Rodney Brimlow, discussed with you or any other the commissioner or the mayor approximately what the startup cost would be to bring back this? We only have like you just said, we only have $32 million in reserves. And most people that I hear come up there and speak, they're saying this is probably they're estimating around $30 million to start this thing up. And that's not including some of the hiccups and that might come up and everything. So have the city manager or the mayor or anybody discussed how much this startup cost is going to be with you and the other commissioners?
I have pre-agenda meetings with the city manager. We had one on Monday morning at 7:15. It was freezing, but I was there. And I asked him that question, and he said, well, he couldn't give me a definitive answer on the number-wise of the number to throw out, but he said, well, maybe we could look into getting loans. I mean, the fact that we have a AA credit rating is very, very good. So we're eligible to get those loans. And that's what he said. He didn't give a dollar amount. That's why yesterday I was stressing we need costs. How much would it cost for the training? How much would it cost to hire new police and fire recruits? How much would it cost to, the police, they have to be trained at the academy. How much would it cost for the equipment? How much would it cost for the IT? How much would it cost for the certification?
Mm-hmm.
I was asking him that. But in answering your question, I asked him about that. And basically, he didn't give me any costs. But he said, well, we could always possibly go the loan route. So we wouldn't have to dig into the $32 million. Again, there's so many questions here. That study that we commissioned, that we paid $70,000 for, didn't answer anything.
Right.
And just gave a nonsense, term of, it's we're going to save over 20 years, $500 million. Now it's up to $950 billion. You'll see it'll creep up to $1 billion and maybe even more.
Right.
It's like playing telephone. It just, everything changes.
And that's what
I asked him that. And
that's what the people are afraid of, because we don't know the numbers. We, like you ask the city manager, and he says, well, we have A+ credit. Yeah. Okay. Well, still they're not giving the numbers. And this is what's upsetting our constituents in every district. I'm 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is what upsetting people throughout this city, because we're not getting true numbers. The transparency is not there. They're something that seems like they're hiding something, and ultimately we, the people, will end up paying for this out of our pockets. And there are people that's moving here, and they have when I tell you, they may be getting a pension check or a social security check, and they have every dime accounted for. And when stuff like this comes up, it just
Throws
throws
their budget off.
people into just
No,
throws
I
their
feel
budget
the
off.
same way.
You know, it's just
I
it's
feel
not
the
right.
same way.
You know, it's not right.
All I could say is, everything that comes up, if they add on costs for certain things, I'm going to say, I need to know what the numbers are. That will be my mantra.
Yeah.
How could I prove that so-and-so or hiring so-and-so when I don't know what the numbers are? How much is this going to cost with everything? When will the numbers be out? That will be my mantra. So, and when the Pompano Beach study comes out, they'll also show a pathway of another, of what we could do or can't do.
Right.
So, and I'm going to be as vigilant as possible. I try to be as transparent as possible. So.
Even the Pompano Beach mayor had made like a little comment. He was like, I was watching a clip of that meeting. I'm quite sure it's been passed around, and he was like, talking about the time that we did a study, and he was like, really? He was like taken aback by that. So that was very telling to me.
Well, I brought it up. If you remember at when he spoke, Colton spoke from that institute that we hired for $70,000. I asked him that. I said, how, and you can look it up. How is it that you were able to, we commissioned you, we voted on it in October, mid-October? And, it's already January, you finished around December. How did you do it in so fast? And he said, well, I didn't take Christmas vacation. And I said, well, let me show you what I did in Christmas vacation. And I had a stack of voter lists that I went door to door asking them questions. I said, this is people I spoke to. So I sort of ridiculed the idea also that, he didn't take Christmas vacation, but there's no information. Bottom line is this, that study didn't show anything. It really didn't show anything. Doesn't address how we're going to pay for it. Doesn't address the numbers. I brought up yesterday, I want to have the director of public safety, because he has quoted and said, I have the numbers, I have the avenues, so let him speak, as well as the city CFO.
Yeah,
I mean, they would know how we're going to pay for this.
Right.
I think he said that in the Pompano Pelican, if I remember right.
So and the mayor jumped in, and the mayor said, we're going to have update every single agenda that would come out in the commission meetings. We're going to update it. So that's what he said. Right. So I'm like, okay, all right.
We have some great comments too in the chat. We have some very good comments.
April Lewis Bolowich says, does anyone know if people from the city commission, the Deerfield City Commission, have reached out to the Pompano Beach about the study? Do you know, Commissioner Shinesky?
I really don't know, sir. No, I really don't know. It'll be public record February 24th. I assume. Now it's funny. I had gone to all 5 of those Pompano Beach town halls. I was there. So was the city manager and the director of public safety. Yeah, they were there, and I was there. None of the other commissioners went. This is in Pompano Beach. I went out. They had it. They had one on a Saturday. I actually went out to one of their, community centers on a Saturday, and also there was one night when it was coming down in buckets, and I went. Right. So, someone had asked the question then, when will this be finished? The gentleman, and I think it was Raftelis, he said it'll be done by March 31st of 26. So that it's coming out February 24th, that's great, surprised me. But in answer to your question, not that I know of. It was supposed to come out later. I don't know if it's done now. I don't know if they're completing it. I don't know. But they put out that date as February 24th. And I'm on pins and needles to know it as well.
Right. John Slattery said, what's most frustrating is that 3 elected representatives of our residents voted to do this without knowing the costs and consequences. We wouldn't do that for our own household or businesses. How can they do that to all of our homes, families, and businesses? That was from John Slattery.
I can't, and unfortunately, I can't speak for my other commissioners. I really can't.
Right.
I know for me, nothing was pre-prepared. When I sat on that dais, I'm listening, I'm taking notes, and questions come to me. And even when I gave the district comments, I was writing it just before I spoke, because I know former Commissioner Parnas said some stuff about the 16 cities, and then we get the information from Slattery, and I'm looking, and I'm like, wow, none of these cities except those two small ones have ever switched from BSO to their own. So bingo, 1911, Fort Lauderdale, they've always had. So of course it's easy. It's and so I listen to what the people say. I listen to their facts, and I speak out. So I don't predispose anything. I mean, even with a peer, I had some thoughts about it, but then listening to the people, I was like, Deerfield Beach citizens have a right to be on the pier for free, just like they go to parks. We use it for free. And I think they should be, treated with special treatment, and that pier should be free. And they pay with taxes anyway. Yeah. So I fought for that.
Yeah, that was a great conversation.
Sort of going the other way. Yeah. So, and I'm glad we voted. So it'll be free for residents. And I've already I had a meeting today in Century Village, one of the associations. I let them know. So I'm letting people know. And that's a big victory, But to answer your question, I always listen to what people are saying, both sides. Yeah. And, I try to use common sense. And I also try to use apathy, putting myself in their shoes and what I would want to say.
Right.
So I think that's the best way. I can't speak for my fellow commissioners. I can't.
Right, and we don't want you to speak for them. Matt Pelletier said they don't want the cost to be made public. Delrec said, my fact, Pompano talked about this for 8-10 years now, but they have never changed from BSO. That's a fact. I mean, only thing I can say to everyone that's in the chat, I know everyone is upset, and I know,
they have every right to be upset.
It's just that uncertainty. Everything is uncertain. So that's what I think the fear is. And also the infrastructure. I mean, we've been hearing about the infrastructure, about a new city hall, about a new fire department. We've been hearing about that for almost 2 years now.
We need everything.
Topped on the cost of starting the police and fire backup. How the hell is we going to do all of this?
Taxes. Taxes.
I'm no financial expert, but I'm like, look, something is a foul here.
And let's not forget about
and that's not fear mongering,
right? And let's not forget about what Governor DeSantis has said he's going to do. He's with the property taxes. What if he go forward with that and give us relief from this property taxes? And where are they going to make up this shortfall from? Where are they going to get the money from? I can tell you it's going to be us.
That's the question I was asking yesterday. Exactly. Where are we going to get the money from?
Exactly.
That's what I said. And one of the citizens who's pro going in-house, it says, we can, if we go in-house, this will work. And I asked him, well, I don't think it can. I mean, where are we going to get the money? I constantly in my district comments was saying, where will we get the money? We need a plan. And I fleshed it out, and I'll be vigilant on that. That will always be my question. How are we going to pay for this? We need to know.
I said it months ago.
Keep saying it.
I said it months ago at one of the town hall meetings out at the Tickner Center, and I said, "Hey, this was months ago."
I was there.
Yeah, you were there, and I said,
it was. I wasn't even. It's amazing, and I gave you kudos for that because I didn't. That wasn't my thought pattern then about the property tax. It's so new. It was just being introduced. And I'm like, you sit there, and I'm like, what's he talking about? And sure enough, it blossomed. I did research on that. I'm like, yeah, this is a problem. The cities could lose $18 million. That's 25% of our budget.
Right.
So
I saw a very interesting comment.
I feel the same way.
Too, John Slattery said, how are we going to be able to afford police officers when ICE is giving new recruits a $50,000 sign-in bonus and $90,000 a year salaries? How do we compete with that to hire new policemen? That is a very good question.
That's a very good question, Mr.
It's
Slattery.
A very good question.
That is.
Well, everything is competitive. I mean, Coconut Creek, I think that the starting salary is $80,000. Boca Raton,
$91,000.
Their starting is $91,000.
$91,000.
You're a young man. You're a recruit. You're going to go with that, the money. Or you're going to go with the best infrastructure. I mean, it's common sense.
Yeah, we're going to get a lot of police officers that's been rejected from other cities, and Police officers coming here with bad attitudes and conduct problems and been written up all and been to 4 or 5 different departments, like this guy that that just got convicted here, that shot the lady in the face. We don't need police officers like that coming here to Deerfield Beach. We want to if we're going to start off, we will start up a new police and fire. We want the best in the country, in the world, here in this city.
I just want the citizens to be, I just want people to know exactly what's going on. Like how will the hiring be? What are the standards? I just want this addressed. I want every aspect of this huge undertaking for both police, fire, and first responder. That's a huge undertaking. I just want all the questions asked. Yeah. And that's what I was stressing yesterday. It started out with how we're going to pay for this. I want all the questions asked. And I think that's something we need to know. I mean, we're the public servants.
So questions being asked now are labeled as fear mongering. From what I see, reading comments, I see whenever you ask a question, it's fear mongering. It's not fear mongering. It's people that want to know what their taxes are going to be. And I was just telling my brother this here, Commissioner Shinesky, that the HR department, I don't even know how they're going to handle, because at least they're going to have to handle at least over 300 new employees. How that? I mean, you're going to have to expand that HR department. It's so many
questions that need to be answered here.
That's no one can sit here and tell me our taxes not going up.
I stressed that Pembroke Parks has 6,000 people. And I think they ended up merging with Davie. They couldn't handle it. And I brought that up yesterday. I said Southwest Ranch, who has 8,000, and Pembroke Parks, who has 6,000, they all went from BSO to their own, and they ended up merging. They had to. It was like survival. Right. So we have close to 90,000. I brought that up.
Right.
And that will be my mantra going forward. How we're going to pay for this? What is the plan?
That should be everybody's mantra going forward.
Right.
I mean, like I saw
how we're going to pay for this?
Yeah, everyone in the chat right now should be demanding that. And I mean, they might not like what we're saying on here. We're not saying nothing that's disrespectful, or it's a question everyone that live here in this city should be asking. If you own a home here, especially if you own a home, wherever you're at, you need to be asking your public officials this question here and demanding, and they're going to try to probably blow you off with something. I mean, according to what you're saying, Commissioner Shinesky, what the city manager was saying, I'm not going to say they don't have a concrete plan, but if he's saying, well, maybe we're going to have to borrow, I mean, that's
deep. Yeah.
That's not really saying a lot.
I mean, that's, maybe we'll take loans. I mean, all right, so let's flesh that out.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have an excellent AA credit rating. We do have $32 million in reserves, but I wanted to flesh it out. That's why I asked for the CFO to give a presentation. I asked. I'll ask again. I'll keep asking. As much information as possible. I mean, I'm pressing for it. I'm trying.
Yeah, everybody's asking in the chat too, Commissioner.
That's what everyone in the chat
what are they hiding? Everybody is asking the same question. What are they hiding?
And we don't have the purchasing power.
Do you feel that like something is being hidden from the people, Commissioner Shinesky? In your own opinion?
I really don't. Yeah, I mean, I can't answer that because I'm so focused on getting the information. Yeah. That's all. And I'll keep pressing on that. Right. I mean, I'm push everything else aside. And the bottom line is, how are we going to pay for this? I need the information. How are we going to do this? What do we need? I need a plan. Right. So the other stuff I really don't think about. I look at the end goal because I want to make sure we have the best coverage. We have the best plan in place because, I want our people to have the best public safety. And like I said, again, right outside my doorstep, next year, they're going to be starting intense construction for that Southwest 10th Street. I don't know if you ever seen the plan for that. It's going to be an
we saw the plan.
Oversight. Yeah. I mean, it's huge.
Yeah.
And all I know is when I come out in the morning on Century Villages, Hillsborough, Military, it's jacked up. And Lord forbid, excuse my language, Lord forbid, there's a breakdown and where it's backed up, it clogged up.
Oh, traffic
All it
gonna
takes
be
is one little
horrible.
car breakdown.
Traffic gonna be
Yeah,
horrible
so
out there.
yeah, so this is right outside my doorstep. So I want to make sure we're fully covered. There's going to be, God forbid, accidents. I want to make sure we're covered, the whole city.
Well,
So I want to know how we're going to do this. What's the plan? I mean, I'm going to press forward for that.
the Adams brothers, we do have a request in to Broward County Sheriff Dr. Reverend Sheriff Dr. Gregory Tony. We have a request in to interview him. We did see him out at the MLK parade here in Deerfield Beach, and he saw us and he says, we got to talk. We got a lot to talk about. So we do have an active request in to interview the sheriff. He will be here, but as soon as we know, we'll announce it. And I'm sure the phone lines are going to light up.
I'm sure the glove's going to come off
to him.
too.
We're going to open up the phone lines, and we're going to, and the sheriff, we're going to let him talk. We don't censor here. We don't censor here on the Adams Brothers podcast, but we do. And I got a call from his staff, his executive staff, that we are in queue for an interview. So we want you to know that as soon as we know, we'll announce it, and we'll get the sheriff on here, and hopefully we can work something out with the city of Deerfield and stay with them for another 2 years, because right now we cannot afford to move forward with our own police and fire. We can't. I don't care what they say.
Well, obviously they got a plan, but I don't know if they sharing that with us. Maybe the mayor and the two commissioners might know. I don't know if you and Vice Mayor Preston know, but I mean, they seem very confident. They seem very confident that they have a plan.
Yeah. I mean, I said that. I said, I have questions. What is the plan? How are we going to do it? And so.
Well, Commissioner Chernesky, is there anything else you want to add before we
any announcements as far as Century Village, your district, while you're on here? We would like for you to continue to call in and give us updates on we would like for all the commissioners to call in, and they're welcome to call in and give us updates, any updates from your district or anything you like to say to the viewers on here as far as your district.
And we're going to invite the city manager on here too. So.
Sure. Well, what I love about Century Village, they have it's called a master management board, where all the infrastructure, everything, they have a huge budget, but they discuss and what they're going to do, and they're very open to speaking to the people. In fact, today, we put a wall around Century Village, a nice wall, so that this way it's safe, it's quiet. But there's a spot where the area called Durham, and because there's a canal there, they couldn't put a wall because it sinks. It would sink. So they left like a fence. So the people in Durham are upset, and they're saying, hey, now, and they took away the shrubbery that was there. That was the main part. They're saying now we hear the noises, we see the lights, and they were upset. And they brought it to the attention of master management, and they have a director, they have the different directors, they have a president. It's almost like Deerfield Beach, a mayor's, and they were upset. And the great thing was, I just came meeting today, the director and the president came and spoke to the people and listened to them, what their concerns are. And then they told them what they're going to do. And there was a give and take. And all questions that were asked, whether how much this will cost, how long it'll take, were answered. And I'm very proud of that. I mean, that's a democratic way.
Mm-hmm.
Val Spikel, he's a director of a master manager in Century Village. Everything from roads, and again, Century Village has 8,500 units, so an average of between 10,000 to as much as 16,000 people, during season. That's bigger than a lot of cities, but yet they're very democratic. They'll listen to people. And they'll pivot. If something is not working well, they say, all right, this didn't work, we'll go the other way. But what I like about it is they're always open. And like I said, the director and the president, they took time. There was an association meeting for Durham, and he was there an hour, and he's answering all the questions. And I like that. In Crystal Lake, also excellent. His name is Greg Murray. He's the president also with Crystal Lake. Same thing. Maybe like 2,000 people. And same thing, he listens to what they say, suggestions, and there's a back and forth. And people are any improvements they make, like they're making improvements on the rec center. That the rec center hasn't been improved in 40 years. Every improvement it's out there. How much it's going to cost, what they're going to do. I like that. And then another one is the Meadows at Crystal Lake, which is right off of Military, and it has 400 houses. And same thing. Everything is discussed. The people have input. And I love that. And if they have a question on something, whether it's financial, everything is out there. So I think that's wonderful. And that's how I'm trained. Yeah. I'm like, let's get all the information. Let's discuss it. And I think that's the right way to do it. And that's what I try to do as commissioner.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Shinesky. And I have one other question. We know that Rebecca Medina resigned and she moved on to another. And who's in charge of that office right now? Because when we had interviews, when we set up interviews with the mayor, Mayor Gantz, when he was here, and the city manager from the past, Santucci, we always went through the public information office. So who should we go through now to request to talk to the city manager and everything?
I'll tell you exactly from what I see and who I've dealt with is Dave Hunt, and he's wonderful. I'll give you an example. It was in December. They had Century Village had like a little festival where they had people with crafts and things like that. And I wanted to get a table. I wanted to get a table and show what the city's doing. We have different programs and things like that. And I worked with Dave Hunt, and he gave me literature. He gave me things that I could discuss with the people. He was very helpful. So Dave Hunt is wonderful. If I have a question, I call him up. So I would recommend Dave Hunt.
Okay.
He's sort of in the background, which is good as a PR person. He's in the background. He lets the people shine. He lets the city shine.
Yes.
But I have a great rapport with Dave. He's always helpful. If I have a question or I need help writing something, he says, "Listen, Dan, I'm here to help you." And I think that's wonderful. So my suggestion is Dave Hunt. If you need his number, I'll be happy to give it to you.
I think we have his number.
But Dave, you could text it to me anyway.
Text it to us.
Text it to me, Commissioner Shinesky.
Okay.
Dave Hunt.
I give him my highest recommendation. Yeah.
Yes,
he's wonderful. He really is.
He's an outstanding city employee. Yeah, he works hard. He knows his social media and editing and video editing and all of that good stuff. So Dave Hunt, he's an outstanding employee. So if you're just joining us, we've been talking to City of Deerfield Beach District 3 Commissioner Daniel Shinesky. He was kind enough to call in and enlighten us on some of some questions that we may have. I know he can't answer everything for all of the other and speak for the other commissioners and the mayor and the city manager, but we do thank you for taking the time out and to call in and talk to the people here.
And I asked Commissioner Shinesky to call in, so I don't want to get him in no trouble.
I'm going to tell you something.
I don't
really
want to get
honored. No.
Yeah.
That's good trouble. Like Representative John Lewis said, make good trouble. Bottom line is this. I'm a public servant. I'm honored to represent my district and the city. I'm here to listen to people, to help them, to be the speaking board. And, I'm always here. I feel honored. And please, you could always contact me, and I'd love to discuss as much as I know.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Daniel Shinesky, for calling in, and you're welcome to call in anytime we're live here on the air. So thank you, sir, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for calling.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Good night, sir.
Bye.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was District 4 Commissioner. District 3, I'm sorry.
Commissioner.
Daniel Shinesky. He's been calling in, and he doesn't have anything to hide. No. I like him. Some people might think that he asks dumb questions, but I'll be the first one to take up for him and say, hey, there's no such thing as a dumb question. The only dumb question is the one that you don't ask. So Commissioner Daniel Shinesky. I think you're doing a good job. I don't care what nobody else thinks about you. I'll say this on air, and I'll say it in your face. I'll say it behind your back. I think you're doing a good job, and you're still learning, and there's a learning process, and now you'll only get better. So continue to keep us informed. Thank you, sir, for calling in too. Man, we got a lot of comments.
Matt Pelletier, you're welcome to call in. I went to school with you. 754-227-1986. 754-227-1986. I like to get your thoughts too, Matt.
Yeah, we're gonna keep them brief. We're not gonna be on here for all night, but we're gonna just give you a couple two. We're not gonna be rude to you, but just kind of keep them brief if you want to call in. One call at a time. One call at a time. If you see someone
please don't
talking,
call.
please don't call in and ring the phone when someone else is on the air talking, because we only have one phone line. 754-227-1986. 754-227-1986. And we really appreciate all the dialogue, people getting in. This is what we're here for. We're here for the people, man. We're the voice for the voiceless here.
Yeah, and we're gonna reach out to Commissioner Preston. I just thought about that earlier today. That I'm gonna Buck Pride. You're right, Matt. Buck Pride. We're gonna get Commissioner Vice Mayor Preston on here, and I mean we're gonna ask. We already had asked for the city manager about 9 months ago. And he told us the budget, and he promised us he's gonna come, and I have no doubt that City Manager Brimlow is gonna come. I would hope, as I said before, Mayor Drosky.
Call in, Mayor Drosky. We know you watch. If you're out there watching right
Commissioner
now,
Plot, y'all know y'all guys are welcome. We had you on y'all podcast. No one's gonna come on here and disrespect you.
Nobody.
No one's gonna Shanghai you. You're more than welcome to come on here. Anyone that come on our podcast, you're going to be treated with nothing but respect.
We're known to treat people fairly here on this podcast. Nobody could tell you we mistreated them. We're very fair to everybody. We don't care who you are, what party you're affiliated with, and we're independent and we're neutral over here, and we're going to remain that way. So we don't play that over here. So if anybody's been watching us for, this will be our 6th year, right? Next month, right? 6th year.
Our very first guest was Gregory Tony.
Gregory Tony, in
March 2000.
March of 2020.
During the COVID lockdown.
Yeah.
He came on, and we're always going to have a good relationship with the sheriff. And again, I just think everyone, I think the calm people fears. I think the elected officials should have some town hall meetings. I believe that was Mr. George that had called on 2 weeks ago, and he was saying about town hall meetings. I think that would be
we got a call coming in from
Dan Hertz.
Dan Hertz. Okay, we haven't heard from him in a while, so okay.
Dan Hertz. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
All right, Mr. Dan Hertz, where you been, man? We've been a little bit worried about you. We haven't heard from you lately here. Welcome, Dan Hertz, to the show.
Thank you, gentlemen. This town is just so boring. Nothing ever goes on here. So,
you're right.
That's why I was laying low.
Yeah.
No, you're right about that. We need some entertainment, good entertainment.
Good trouble.
Oh, so I want you guys to imagine for a second, it's 18 months from now, and Commissioner Wayne Adams has been sitting up there on the dais for a few months. And pretend that this situation with BSO and the in-house public safety was going on 18 months from now when Wayne's already up there. In what world, imagine, Wayne, where a city manager would make these life and death decisions and not tell the citizens, A, how he's going to pay for this, and B, what the plan is, and doing this all after they voted instead of giving this information out to the public before he votes. In what parallel universe would this ever be accepted? And so I have to, of course, I don't have any faith in the three amigos who decided a long time ago how they were going to play this. But the other two commissioners have to push much more than they have been and not accept this piecemeal. We'll tell you a little bit at a time as we go along and try to figure it out. And I know, Wayne, if you were up there is no way that you would tolerate what is going on and what is being done right now to 88,000 people.
No, I would ask for, and I would be in the city manager's office asking for a cost in a respectable way. I mean, I'm going to always be be respectable to everyone on the dais and in the audience. That's how I was raised. It can't be no other way with me. But you're right, Mr. Hurst. I would be demanding more numbers and more figures and transparency. You're gonna see that when I do get elected. You're gonna see that I'm gonna remain my true, authentic self and just try to be a better person. But to answer your question, no, I would not allow that to go on. I would have been asking to see answers when I first seen they were going this way. I would have been asking those questions there.
Correct. And unfortunately, the more we dug into the Center for Public Safety's head guy, Stockton Reeves, the more disappointed we all were on the quality of his presentation. And I just want to let you know that not just myself, but a few other people, including people who are very pro-city, have done a Freedom of Information request for this backup that the mayor has spoken about, that he has seen to Stockton Reeves' 12-page report. And to this date, nobody has received that backup documentation that only the mayor has seen and read. Yeah. And, this is when you're making this monumental decision and you're basing it on flawed information that you just keep repeating over and over again. We're going to save $250 to $1 billion over 20 years. There's zero credibility. Yeah. And this all ties into it. I know that this has awakened a lot of people's eyes who never paid attention before, and that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. The January 20th YouTube meeting at 3,000 plus views, mm-hmm. which is unheard of.
Yes, I saw that.
So that's the only thing, is that people are waking up to things that I've been preaching about for a long time now. And when you see this and you just, this all could have been done so differently, so transparently, and then you wouldn't have these issues that you're having. And then when we address them, because in the name of being a good citizen, we are just, I call it the Bill Gann school of knocking the citizens. And instead of saying, thank you for bringing up these points, we'll look into it, but oh no, you're just completely negative, and my political enemies are the ones who are speaking out publicly, and everybody else, including the silent majority, is in favor of this.
Yeah, Susan, Mr. Hurst, Susan Silwanix, I think I pronounced it, Page said, now remember Mayor Drosky used the firemen and the fire union to get elected, and now he did this to them. So
yes, and I as you guys know, I don't hold anything back, and I asked the union representatives, because when all this broke, I said to myself, you guys, I'm sure you must have discussed this with the mayor and the city manager. And it just didn't, all of a sudden at that first meeting in the middle of April of last year, this wasn't a shock that BSO was going to ask for these increases and bring up the findings from the Evergreen Solutions study, which, by the way, is the same company that the city hired when they increased the employee's salary. So obviously a credible company. It was good enough for the city, so why isn't it good enough for BSO?
Yeah.
And I was told by union officials that they did go over all this with Drosky, and they had his blessing. And then the day after the election, well, you know what happened. That's public knowledge.
Do you believe that this should have went to referendum, Mr. Hertz, for the people to vote?
It didn't have to. It could have, but they weren't obligated because
Right.
remember, and this is the mayor's statement, they're just another vendor, just like the company that comes and fills up the soda machine. And you do not need a referendum to get rid of or to bring in a new vendor. You just need, because the dollar amount is over $25,000, the commission has to vote on it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm interested to see exactly what this study, this comprehensive study that City of Pompano Beach is going to release in about 3 weeks. I've never gone to a City of Pompano Beach city commission meeting, but I think I'm going to go because I'm also going to put in a public record request for that study. I like to see it for myself. I'd like to see exactly what's going to be said. And I think Deerfield should have waited and made their moves after that comprehensive study from Pompano Beach came out and was made public. What do you think about that?
Well, you have to ask yourself, why didn't the city do that?
Mm-hmm.
And this is where the conspiracy theories come into play, but I have my own theories as to why they did not wait, because they were scared of what the results may show. And if you've already voted on it, then it's too late to go backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And another thing is,
and unfortunately,
sorry to interrupt you. I think another thing is they thought that it would carry over into the March 2027 election, and they definitely wouldn't have the votes then to do it. That's one thing that I think.
Well,
other
in
things
theory,
besides your
yes,
theory, yes.
Mm-hmm.
They would lose.
It could be as well, and yeah, and again, me, I'm very open book. I've even suggested to the higher ups at BSO that maybe if they can file a lawsuit, not because they think they're going to win, but because it would slow down this process and get us closer to March of 27, that is something that they may want to explore from their end.
Yeah, that's
an uphill battle.
That's an option. That's definitely an option.
Yeah.
I just think,
and as I said many times, BSO is not perfect. There's many issues, but they were willing to come to the table and negotiate on the police side to get those costs down much closer to that 5% cap.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a fact I'm stating. Rodney Brimlow turned down every single one of their suggestions.
He was probably doing what he was instructed to do. If his bosses instructed him to do so, then and I'm not saying that that's the case. I'm just saying that a city manager takes direction from the commission, the mayor and the commissioners. So I don't know. Maybe it could be taking direction from them. I don't know. We'd like to know.
Yeah, I mean, you almost have to go back to the origins of how this all began, and you've got to go. I did a little research. You got to go way back to the budget workshop of summer of 2021, when at the time Commissioner Drosky first broached the idea that this city needs a public safety director so that all the police, fire, lifeguard, park rangers, they can all report to the same director of public safety. And the irony here was also that Drosky said at the time, we also need to do a deep dive into the police and fire contracts so that we can see where we can potentially save money.
They've been playing
and
chess.
That was the justification for bringing in Rodney Brimlow and creating this brand new position. And they hired Brimlow in November of 2021. So you almost have to go back all the way back that far to understand how we got to where we are today.
And you know, Mr. Hertz, as I said before on here, and I told my brother verified right now what I'm saying. I spoke to Vice Mayor Preston in 2021 when that came up, and I told him, I called him on the phone, and he will verify exactly what I'm saying. I said, Commissioner Preston, I might be wrong, but I believe this is the first step of going back to the Deerfield Beach Police Department. I told my brother, and I told other people that Vice Mayor Preston can verify what I'm saying. And he said, no, this is for them to look at contracts. They're gonna be able to look at the BSO contracts. And he assured me, I still left there not believing that. I know what he was saying was in good faith to me. Commissioner Preston has always been dealt with me in good faith. I can't speak for no one else. And I wanted to believe him, but I didn't believe what was said. Not from him, but I just didn't believe it. I knew my discernment was telling me that they're setting up right now to go back to the Deerfield Beach Police Department. That was my thought back then, and I have told plenty of people that. They know I'm not lying, and I just believe that was, like you said, Mr. Hertz. I mean, people can say conspiracy theory or whatever they want to call it. I believe just like you. I mean, I don't know whether it was a smoke-filled room with people making whatever happened, but I believe that the thought was made right then to explore going back to the police department back in 2021. That's just me. That's my opinion, and I'll stick by it. And if any of them want to come ask me about it, I'm telling them exactly how it went. That was my thought.
Correct. And then if you look at some of the other pieces that occurred prior to that April 15th meeting last year between BSO and Rodney Brimlow, you see other steps. I had my issues with David Santucci, as you know, but one thing, he was a staunch supporter of BSO.
Mm-hmm.
And if he was still the city manager, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that this would never have occurred.
Well, they would have fired him. They would have fired him and got him out of there.
You see what they did to Horace McHugh.
Yeah.
After 30 days of being the city manager, because, so they needed Rodney Brimlow to be the city manager for this all to happen.
Right. And we've been saying they've been playing chess all along.
Steps. Yeah. Yes. And that's why when this is straight from the higher ups at BSO, that they gave David Santucci a lot of notice that this study was coming and that they were going to be asking for more money in the future contract. Now, the interesting thing also to bring up is, BSO could have just done nothing and waited until March 31st of this year when the contract would have been over. But they were being proactive and just saying, guys, we're losing too many police officers. We need to do something about it. And so everything has gone up a lot more than 5%, which was in the contract, from 2021. Yeah. So I believe they came to the city in good faith And this is one of the reasons why Sheriff Tony got so upset, because he felt that all of a sudden the city flipped on him, and Rodney Brimlow was not giving the proper information to the commission on these cost-saving measures that was discussed when BSO met with Brimlow. And of course, Sheriff Tony overreacted in that famous video, 2 days after the commission meeting.
Right.
Yes, but he has come and he has apologized
yes.
Openly to that for that outburst, and of course he had a right to be upset. But yes, he took it a little too far.
Yeah.
But when you put all the puzzle pieces together, you really see that this was a long time in the making. And yes, Wayne, you are correct that when your spider sense was tingling in 2021, it was for a good reason.
We've been talking about it. Yeah, we have.
Me and him, we live across the street from each other, so we close. Everybody know we was close. So I told my dad. My dad can verify exactly what I'm saying. Told my dad, I told Dara, I told a few other people, I said, this is the first step of going back to the Deerfield Beach Police Department. And everybody said, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
That's what other people who I told said, I wouldn't doubt it. But I just want to say this, and then I'm gonna let you go. I wish the sheriff had played his cards different. I think he played directly into their hand of going back. And I think, like you said, once he got emotional, that gave them the leverage. When he called them corrupt, that played right into their hand, and the other people that came subsequently after that to side, to say he was attacking the city manager. I think he played right into their hand. That's just my opinion.
And we'll ask him about that. We have like we said before earlier, we're in queue to interview him. He has a lot of interviews coming up. We've spoken to his staff, and they have us in queue. I got a call from downtown yesterday, and they said we do. He's very aware that the Adams brothers want to talk to him. We're going to get him on here. We will get him on here. Now, I think we're going to even open up the phone lines. We're going to let him know.
If he allow us to.
If he give us, because he only give us 30 minutes, we can't take a whole lot of calls, but, we're going to get him on here, and we're gonna just let him talk. Look, you just talk, and we'll pick it back off of you.
Yeah, I'm sure he has enough to say to fill up those 30 minutes with no problem.
Oh yeah.
He wanted to talk. Actually, he wanted us to do an interview with him on MLK Day.
At the MLK Day, yeah. He said, we need to. He said we got a lot to talk about.
He wanted to do it.
He spotted us first. He says, there's the Adams brothers. He said we got a lot to talk about. So. I like BSO, and I told his staff when they contacted us yesterday. I said I like BSO. This is my personal opinion. I don't know some of the people that got up to that microphone and claim that they speak for District 2. I don't know who they talk to. Maybe there are 2 or 3 people, or 4 people, or 8 people in that little circle that nobody wants BSO here. I don't know who they talk to, but they sure as hell didn't talk to us.
And the majority of people
I think Gloria went. I think Gloria went door to door to get before she gave you that opinion.
Yeah, I doubt that.
Well, I didn't call any names, but I didn't call any names.
I doubt that.
They didn't.
I know you couldn't. That's why I helped you out.
I could have called the name or 2, but I didn't. I tried.
Yeah.
Chose not to do that, but they didn't. Those people that spoke out in public or wherever they spoke, they don't speak for the majority of the people here in District 2, because the majority of the people here in this district and this city want BSO here. Okay. Deerfield Beach Police couldn't even solve our sister Angela Savage's unsolved murder. They didn't have the resources. They didn't have the DNA testing that just was new.
Didn't have the resources.
They just didn't have it. They didn't have the manpower, and it went unsolved for 21 years. until BSO got the case, a cold case, and that's who solved it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody from BSO,
Yeah.
since they've been here in 35 years, have ever in their life, not one BSO deputy, male or female, has ever stuck a gun or 9mm or 357 up to my head,
No,
like the Deerfield Beach Police Department did to me and my brother.
Yeah.
And just for coming from the
They
skating
called
ring,
me a nigger.
they called my brother to in, told us to shut in our family member's yard, and they told us to shut that. I mean,
Snatched the camera.
yeah, we were pulled the AR-15 on my dad. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, we were treated very poorly by the Deerfield Beach Police Department, and some of these same people that are getting up here talking about, oh, we want Deerfield, we want our own police department. Yes, there are some things that we could like to have more control over, and yes, when you call down to the Broward County Sheriff's Office, you can't get anybody because it's hell calling down there. I got to admit that. And that's one of the things I want to talk to the sheriff about. It's hell trying to call down there and get a hold of somebody down there. You just get bounced around.
Yeah,
and
Mr. Hurst say they got faults, and they do.
Yeah, they have their own faults, and I'm sure that they're working on them.
They do.
They're working on them. So, but again,
they wasn't perfect.
Nobody from BSO has ever stuck a gun to my head or my brother's head or pulled the AR-15 on my dad for just filming on a sidewalk. You know.
And I wanted to say one thing too, Mr. Hurst. You only saw two people that I can remember, and I was watching every meeting. You only saw two people come up there and say they didn't want the Broward Sheriff Office here. I want you to go back and I know you have a good memory. I only saw two black people, and you know who I'm talking about. Again, we don't have to call names.
We don't call names over here.
But those the only two black people that I saw come up there and say that solid majority that they talking about did not want BSO to leave here. And those two individuals can run up there all they want and lie and say, they talking to the same little clique. But if you go and look at the chat, look at the people on there.
Look at the people in that chat.
Those people, most people here, and everybody, again, know BSO has not been the best here, but I think they have done a good job here from what I have seen over the last 35, 36 years. Could they be better? Yeah. Could they? Hopefully. I mean, I wish something great would have came out of it. It didn't. But I want to ask you this before we let you go, Mr. Hurst. Moving forward, building a Deerfield Beach Police Department, what would you want to see moving forward? Because unless something unforeseen come, we're moving forward with the Deerfield. What would you like to see? What vision would you have of the police going forward here in Deerfield Beach?
Well, you would have to, the so important would be who's going to be the head of the fire and who's going to be the chief of police. And then everything would flow from that. And that's why those two hires, I think, are so crucial, because they're going to set the culture. They're, I would think, would be intimately involved in hiring different department heads. So that's so important. And I think when we finally learn that, we'll get to see what type of seasoned veteran who is squeaky clean, who doesn't have any political sides, agendas, isn't controlled by any power brokers. And if you see that that's legitimate, then I can hope that, at least hope for the best. But if it's business as usual and it's somebody who has a checkered history of in law enforcement, then I'm going to fear for the worst.
Mr. Hurst, I have one question. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead and finish your thought.
But no, and the other thing is, and this, see, so many other things tie into this. I know you haven't talked at all about the red speed cameras that are ticketing left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Finally through a public public information request, I was able to get the numbers
Tell us.
that the city didn't want disclosed.
Mhm.
But you have now about the city's cut is going to be going forward now that they place those new cameras in place, $400,000 a month in revenue,
Oh, wow.
which would have pretty much covered all the BSO's increases that they were asking for, or a large part of it. And none of that ticket revenue money was budgeted. It was put aside just for the reason of accumulating more funds to pay for the in-house police and fire.
Mm-hmm.
And then think of one other thing just to keep in mind. Everything else is going to be put on hold in the city because this task is going to require all hands on deck.
Yeah,
So other projects are, our dream of an amphitheater one day.
That's not going to happen.
Other projects are totally going.
The Dixie Highway project. You don't even hear about them in Pioneer Grove. That's gone.
Everything
right
is second now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So there's so many repercussions of this that also don't get talked up enough, but unfortunately they're there and should have gone into the decision-making process. And I heard you mention with Commissioner Shinetsky about the HR department.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you are almost doubling the amount of employees
You're
for
gonna
the city.
have to. Yes.
They're going to be overwhelmed in
they
HR.
are.
How are they going to be able to keep up? They're going to have to work overtime on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and they're going to get burned out. It's going to trickle down.
Task.
It's going to cost the taxpayers more money, and nothing looks good coming out of this decision that these commissioners and the mayor made. They voted on. Nothing good is going to come out of this. And I have one final question for you, Mr. Hurst, before I let you go. You floated out a name who you thought would be the police chief here in Deerfield Beach. I read it. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that to me would be the unfortunately what I was bringing up. Somebody with tremendous political connections, and I'm referring to his name was Daniel DeCourcy, and he's currently the police chief in Pembroke Park. And while he has stabilized Pembroke Park because they went through 2 other police chiefs in 6 months, and they brought in Mr. DeCourcy, I understand, about 14 months ago, and he's at least stabilized things for them. But you're talking a police force of 20 people and a population of 6,000, and unfortunately, there are rumors that I can't go into my sources, but that he is beholden to the Democratic Fort Lauderdale power broker by the name of Judy Stern. And, I would, again, hate to think that somebody was being selected because of political connections and not that they were the absolute best person for the job.
And did he also work for Broward County Sheriff's Office? Is he retired from there?
No, I understand he was up north in Jacksonville before he was brought down to Pembroke Park.
Yeah, because I think I read somewhere that he used to work for the Broward County Sheriff's Office. Maybe I'm wrong, but I remember reading that somewhere. It could not be true, but I have to look further into it. But just wanted to ask you about that. Is there anything else you want to add before we let you go, Mr. Hurst?
Just a plea again to the commission to provide the citizens with the necessary information so that we can feel comfortable and can stop questioning their motives. And it would be so easy to provide this information. They've even hinted that, not this meeting, but the previous meeting, the Rodney Brimlow said that the CFO has looked at the numbers. We won't have to raise the millage rate. Everything's going to be okay. Well, if he'd already looked at the numbers, then why not give the citizens the information that would be required any other city that made such a momentous move as this? and then this would quiet all the skeptics and all of the conspiracy theories that they let permeate because they won't give out the information.
Yeah,
And that's
true.
very important
Very,
what you
yeah.
said there, Mr. Hertz.
Thanks for bringing that up.
About
too. Yeah.
information. I see someone said knowledge is power, and I think they could calm everyone's fears of the conspiracy theories or whatever they say, the all the sayings that they that they have that they've been putting out there. Just calm the people's fears of huge tax rates
Being taxed out of our
increases,
homes.
and because I think everyone, I know people that's not even in the political arena that comes up to us and they don't even do politics, and they were like, they're questioning how they're going to pay for this, what's the plan? And I think it's not fear mongering. I keep hearing that from the commission, some on connected to them talking about fear mongering. It's not fear mongering, asking questions about building your police department, and I just hope that word stops. About fear mongering and conspiracy theories, but a lot of things that they have, rightfully so, like I'm saying, they have allowed to fester all of these doubts. So give the people some more information, and I think all of this, like you said, I think all of it will eventually go away, because I think everyone if we're gonna have our own department, let's build the best department that we can have. Yeah. That's my opinion on that.
If you're just joining us, we've been talking to Mr. Dan Hertz. He ran for mayor and here in the city of Deerfield Beach. He's a community activist, and he keeps them honest around here. So final word for you, Mr. Hertz, before we let you go.
Well, just finally, that's why I started off by saying I know Commissioner Wayne Adams would never tolerate what's going on right now in a respectful way, yes, but he would hold the feet to the fire and get the answers that we require. So I know he hasn't officially filed his paperwork yet, but I hope the voters remember this come next March.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
that's my final. And thank you so much for giving me the forum too.
Yes.
That's so important that we have an opportunity to discuss things and let people know a lot of things that the city would rather that they don't know.
Well, we elevate the dialogue here on the Adams Brothers podcast. We're neutral and we treat everybody fair. So,
got one more question, Mr. Hertz. I got to ask you this too.
Sure.
Are you running for a commissioner in District 1?
I haven't given that any thought. We're so far away. I know that there is one old commissioner who's already officially done some paperwork, but I think it's way too early. I don't think anybody's attention is focused on March,
right
and now. I'm just living one day at a time, and I'm never going to say never. But let's just say as we get a lot closer, I'll give it some serious thought.
That's a great answer.
Good enough. Thank you, Dan Hertz. We appreciate you always calling in. Thank you for your insights, and keep the pressure on them and keep them honest and promote transparency. Thank you, sir, for calling in. Have a good rest of your night.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So that was Mr. Dan Hertz. He called in. Man, I tell you, it's always
and the other side, welcome to.
Yeah. I mean, good again. If the city manager Rodney Brimlow, the mayor Todd Drosky, Vice Mayor Ben Preston, District 1 Commissioner Mike
Hudak, Commissioner Plott,
we
got good
Commissioner Plott,
with them.
We have relationships with all of you all. You all know us. We are fair. We don't sugarcoat anything over here. We're unbought and unbossed over here. We say what we want. We hopefully you all respect our opinions. We respect your opinions. When you make them up there, we might not agree with them all, but we disagree with you all and agree with you respectfully.
And when I see them, I'm always going to shake their hand. That's how I was raised.
Absolutely,
Can't be no other way. It can't be. No, I don't have no hate in my heart.
Anytime they want to call in, they can call in. We don't censor anybody over here. We don't monitor our phone calls. We don't screen our phone calls. Anybody that call in, we put them on air. We don't care what they want to talk about. we put them on the air. So I don't know. Do you want to take one more phone call?
We can take one more.
We're gonna
phone
take
call.
one more brief phone call. We're not gonna let.
And I know we
20
said brief, the others, but we gave them.
So we're gonna take
But if
one
you
more
wanna
phone
call
call
in, you're
before we get
welcome.
off of here because we want to go get some dinner and relax a little bit. It's been a
It's
long
Super Bowl
day.
week.
Yeah. So
I hope everyone enjoy themselves and be safe
Oh, yeah.
out there.
Oh, yeah.
If you're gonna
don't drink and drive. Use
exactly.
the freebie ride service.
Or
Use
Uber.
freebie or Uber. The taxi. I think Yellow Cab usually give you free rides if you call for Yellow Cab. Ride a bicycle. Have someone pick you up, drop you off, and pick you up. Or have a designated driver. Don't be drinking and driving. We got one more phone call coming in. It's going to be Pastor Keith Williams. We're going to take his phone call.
He's always a man of reason.
Williams. To accept, press 1. To send.
All right, we got Pastor Keith Williams. We always appreciate you
Welcome.
calling in, Pastor Keith Williams. Welcome to the Adams Brothers Podcast. What would you like to talk about?
Good afternoon, man. I just had one thing to share.
Yes, sir.
I was at the meeting last night,
Uh-huh.
and when they got up there and they were really talking about stuff with Commissioner Hudak. Now, I don't know if anybody else caught it, but this man pulled out food and started eating, man. This man was sitting up there on the bench and eating food. I don't know if anybody else seen that.
No.
Who
I
did?
The Commissioner Hudak.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, if that's not absurd, man, I don't know what else is.
yeah.
If that's not absurd,
I
they,
was
they're
watching.
talking to him.
Yeah, I was watching, but I didn't
Oh,
see
yeah.
that. Yeah.
No, I didn't
Oh,
see
yeah.
that either.
Oh yeah, he pulled out something. It was chips or something, and he was just going in, man, just eating. And I'm like, really? Doing the commission meeting? That tells you a lot. That tells you exactly a lot about what's going on, man.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else in the meeting saw that, but that was like crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy. So that should tell people what they really stand for, what he stands for.
And
That should tell them right there.
Pastor Williams, again, tell them
Yeah.
what you said the other time where you called in about the police department. If you're qualified, apply. You said
Yeah.
that the last time you called in. Tell them that again, Pastor Williams.
And that's a good thing. If you qualify for it, go and apply. Don't sit on the sidelines looking at what's going on, complaining about what's going on. Get involved. Go and apply. Get on the force. Yeah, have a say so on the force as well. So now you're helping to look into your community. You're helping to look into your city as well, because the city gonna need you to apply. So
Yep.
don't sit back and wait. Just go ahead and apply too.
Yeah.
And that's my sentiment always too. Like Commissioner Preston echoed that last night at the meetings, and I echo. I agree with a lot that he said. The train is moving. I mean, it's unless a lawsuit or something is filed, I see us going on. And my opinion is we got bigger and better things here in Deerfield Beach. We can't let this divide us. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. We can't let this divide us. This is a great city to live in. Like I say, my family has been here since 1913. 4 generations of Adams here. And I just want the force to be diversified. I want it to reflect us. And the best is yet to come for Deerfield Beach, but I just hope that
Yes.
the people's fears can just be calmed by our elected officials. And I don't think that's asking
Show us
for
the
much.
numbers. Show us the numbers.
I don't think that's asking for much, because I know they're going to look at the chat. They're going to look at the people who call, and they're going to try to, say this or that about them. And
Yeah.
Everyone have
Yeah.
a right to be concerned about their taxes going.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Any final words?
And the only
there,
reason I don't get up to say anything, because they already have their mind made up.
Yeah.
So you just wasted your breath. They already got their mind. No matter what you say or no matter what you do, they already have their mind made up what they're gonna do. But they just gotta let you talk and say what you gotta say.
Mm-hmm.
They still gonna do it.
And I
You know,
agree.
they're gonna do it. And like a lot of people say, you fight at the ballot box.
Mhm.
You know that's where you fight at. And it's the same that we have a lot of our people
Mhm.
that sit there and say, I'm not gonna vote because my vote don't matter. No way they're gonna do what they want to
It
do.
matters.
Who told you that
It
stupid
matters.
stuff?
It matters.
It does matter.
Yes, it does.
And then you get stuff like this, and then they complain about it. Well, I'm tired of them doing me wrong. Well, why didn't you vote?
Right.
Why didn't you go vote?
Mhm.
Put you in the go. I mean, your forefathers sacrificed for you to vote. What's the problem with going to vote, man? Put your vote in,
Put it in.
so you will have a voice.
That's right.
And so now you won't be able to say, well, hey, well, they just doing what they want to do. But did you go and put your vote in? If you didn't, then why are you complaining?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
Yeah. If you don't vote, you have no reason to complain whatsoever. So, Pastor Keith Williams, we always appreciate you
Appreciate you
calling
guys.
in, man. Thank you for always tuning in and watching us and supporting us. We really appreciate you.
Yes,
and
we do.
all that you do here in this community through your ministry as well. So,
And
thank
anything
you,
else
sir.
you want to announce from your ministry on here while you're on here? Anything you're having, any events you having? You have the floor. So we always say this. I'd say this to everyone while you're on here. You might as well announce if you got something going on at your church or whatever.
Well, I know we are excited about the launch of our show that we're starting on next Thursday. Our Your Life program starting on next Thursday, and that's a program where we actually interview people that have been through trauma in their life, and they've come through it, and now they're living successful. And and that's a thing that I think that the community needs to hear. People need to hear other people outside of your community, what they went through. Our first guest that's going to be on with me next week are pastors from Texas. They're good friends of ours in Texas. And I tell you, they started their ministry and they lost their building, and they continue to have church in the park. For 4 years, they had church in the park, still giving God praise, and now God has blessed them with their own building. You know, it's things that we don't see are the things that we need to know about. And so we'll be bringing great people on, and then I thank God for you guys coming on with us as well. Can't wait to have you guys on with us this month, last Thursday in this month, and just to see what God has to say, and we thank God for you guys as well.
Yeah,
That'll be a good interview. I have
you.
no doubt about that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, Pastor Keith Williams, thank you for calling in, man. We really appreciate you calling in, and thank you for sharing that with our viewers. And man, keep up the good work in the community. Good trouble. Stay in good trouble.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All righty.
Good night, sir.
Okay.
And I want to read one comment I saw on here, and I want to, like I always say, the views expressed are on here, the callers and the people in the chat. I saw Jason Syracuse, and very good comment. Very good. He said the speed cameras are just the beginning of a police department and city commission that will be predatory, always looking for money. That speaks volumes there of that comment from Mr. Syracuse. I hope I pronounced your name right. If I didn't, please forgive me. But that is very telling. That's something that I think the residents here should definitely be very aware of. Money making. I mean, you see a lot of these red light cameras and a lot of things, and a lot of them are just money makers. It's one thing I give Mayor Gantz about in the future. He was not a fan of those red light cameras, and I can remember him plenty of times. I'm glad that he did stop those because I think they're predatory. I don't have a problem with the school zone cameras. I have a problem with them running all day. The problem I have with the red light cameras, when the red light cameras were first introduced, someone, I can't remember, had to keep asking, and they finally reluctantly, I remember the city manager reluctantly saying, yeah, the camera's gonna run all day. No one had never said that before. I was under the impression that it would only be during the school hours, in the morning or whatever, and in the afternoon. But it was like, I saw how it was done, and I was not. And I remember calling Commissioner Preston, and I'm like, I didn't like how that was done, I felt that was like being sneaky, how it was done. And it was, questions had to be continually asked for that information to come out, when that information should have been told to us from the beginning. Again, the only problem I have, I don't think it should be running all day. I just think that school hours, but the decision has already been made on that. I just wanted to make that clear. Also, we have the Black Heritage that's going to be coming up later this month. It's going to be at the Tigner Center. Like to see everyone there. I mean, it's not about a black thing, it's a white thing, it's a community thing. People come out. Don't be petty. I mean, I remember comments last year, but don't be petty. It's about the community. This is one Deerfield, always gonna be one Deerfield. We gotta stick together. Don't let this police department BS thing tear us apart. And everyone that's commenting in the chat, everyone stay vigilant. Keep coming with your comments. I mean, don't let up. I mean, and I just think, those just my personal opinions. I just think we all just need to be respectful towards each other moving forward. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. We just need to be respectful, man. Yeah, we all humans, and just be respectful of each other. That's my parting leaving this show here today. And I just want to thank everyone for being in the chat, for coming on. Everyone is always being respectful. Everyone is, this show here is about respectability. We're not trying to tear anything down. We're not trying to tear the commissioners down. Again, and I'll say it, they made good decisions, but this decision here
is the wrong
was in my opinion, was the wrong one with what the information we had. That's just my opinion on that, and I'm not going to backtrack on that, and hopefully they don't take it wrong. But if they do, then come talk to me like a man. Don't talk behind my back. Don't go talk to someone up there in staff. Talk to me like a man, because I plan on being sitting up there on that dais right along with you come March of next year. That's all I wanted to say. Good night. God bless everyone out there.
We want to thank you all out there in Facebook and YouTube land for rocking with the Adams Brothers podcast. We are no doubt the hottest podcast here in South Florida right here. We give it to you raw and uncut, like a strong drink on the rocks with no chaser. We don't take sides over here. We are neutral. We treat everybody that calls in or comes on our show fair. We pride ourselves on being fair to everybody here.
That's right.
We love Deerfield Beach. We are passionate about Deerfield Beach. And when you see us on here speaking in front of these cameras, this camera, when you see us speaking, we speak passionately because we love Deerfield Beach. And we love all of our followers. If you don't follow us, please, right now, go hit that like button on the Adams Brothers podcast on Facebook and YouTube. Don't forget about our Cash App, $ Adams Brothers Podcast, and on Zelle, Adams Brothers Podcast at gmail.com. This
Please
has
donate.
been an Adams Brothers Media LLC Productions. We want to thank each and every last one of you for calling in. Look for my brother is big on the Black history. We're going to be putting some Black history facts up on our podcast. So Wayne is real big on that. So,
and I haven't did anything on it yet.
Not yet, but we're going to put some stuff up there. Thank you all, man. We don't care who you are, what color you are, where you from, what country you from. We love you. Oh,
Yep,
and
it's
guess
about
what?
engaging conversation.
And guess what, you all? There is absolutely nothing you can do about it.
Elevating the dialogue. We're going to
Elevate the
continue
dialogue.
to do it. I mean,
Thank you all for watching. We're going to get off of here and go get us some dinner. Thank you all for watching. We love you, and there's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. Good night, everybody.